and today I have a video that I've never quite done before. Today's video is going to be a full face of first impressions. Products that I have never used before. I got inspired to do this challenge or type of video on my channel because I recently got some products from Glambot.com. I quickly want to thank Glambot for partnering up with me. You guys know I wouldn't share any services that I wasn't absolutely in love with, but Glambot is an absolutely amazing service. I know you guys are going to love it as much as I do. So Glambot is an awesome website where you can buy and sell makeup. Now this is not your typical buying and selling website. For example, where you can make an account and have like your own little shop or anything like that. Basically you could send in lightly used makeup that you don't use anymore, or makeup that you tried and didn't necessarily like and couldn't return it or anything like that. You could send it into Glambot. And now for example, this product is from Glambot and you can see it has a Glambot sticker. Once the seller sends their products into Glambot, they sterilize everything, they make sure that it's good enough to sell, and then they will resell the products for way cheaper than the retailed price. They have so many high-end products, every brand that you could possibly think of, and everything is so much cheaper than it normally is. Also, I'm super excited to announce, because Glambot was kind enough to provide a 30% off coupon code for you guys. Now the only catch is that it will only be activated for 72 hours. So you have until Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern to purchase your own items from Glambot. And if you want to wait, they're having a huge Black Friday sale, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Now I will have a time frame down below if you want to skip straight to the tutorial, but I quickly wanted to do a mini haul of the products that I got from Glambot so you could see what they look like and you can get a kind of a sneak peek of what I'm going to be using in this tutorial. I also wanted to show you guys these items to showcase all the amazing brands that they do have. So here we have the Nude Tude palette by The Balm, and I have wanted this for so long and I was so excited to see this on the site. Look how cute. So I used this whole palette on my eyes today. I also got the Urban Decay Naked Flush palette and I used this on my cheeks today. I love it so much. I finally got a chance to try out the Mary Luminizer by The Balm, and holy crap, look at that glow, guys. I'm obsessed. I also got the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and it is still good as new. I love it. And also it tells you how full the product is. So for example, 50% full, 80% full, so you know how much you're paying for the used product. I also picked up the Stila Stay All Day liquid eyeliner, and they also provided me with some samples. So this is the final look that I created. Please let me know if you guys like these full face of first impressions videos. I would definitely love to do them more often. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday for After the Weeks at 7 p.m. Eastern. Remember, link down below to check out Glambot. I'm so sorry this intro is long, but let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so like always, headband on. My lips are feeling so chapped right now, so I'm just going to put some chapstick on. So to start off, I am going to try out the BareMinerals Bare Pro Foundation, and I'm really excited about this. I got this at Gen Beauty and I've been wanting to try it out ever since, and I'm in the shade Golden Ivory, and it came with a really nice brush that is so soft. Since we're using a BareMinerals foundation, so it says to apply a thin, even layer all over the face. And I'm just gonna put this all over. It already feels really smoothing. So I don't know if you could see, but I do have a little bit of redness and I'm still breaking out from my moisturizer. I'm not still using it, don't worry. It's just like the pimples from it are still there. So I'm just gonna dip my brush in this, and this is a powder foundation, and I'm gonna start building this up. So I'm gonna start putting this on my cheeks to kind of see. I've never really used a powder foundation, so let's see. I'm not really liking it so far. I'm gonna try and see how good this builds up before I make an impression. I mean, this is definitely very natural and good for every day, it seems. But I was trying to do like more full glam today, and I don't think this is cutting it. And I see that this is kind of clinging to any dry spots, and really, I mean, it's definitely covering a little bit of the veins, but it's not really covering like the discoloration on my cheeks or anything. For everyday, since I personally just use concealer, I think this would be really good. It's really natural if you like the natural look. If you just want an even skin tone, I think this is good for every day, besides kind of like it drying up. But personally, I think foundation is really important because it is the foundation for your whole look. So I think I'm gonna go dig in my foundation drawer and try out something else. Update on this, I just looked in a regular mirror without my HD studio lights, and I definitely think I'm gonna try it again. Besides the dry spot, it did really even out my skin tone, and it looked good like in a normal mirror, so I'll try it out again. I'm not going to completely toss it, but I'm going to try out this It Cosmetics CC cream, and this is in the shade medium, so I'm scared it's going to be a little too dark. That's why I've never really tried it. It actually looks kind of fine, so I'm going to take this on my beauty blender and just a little bit pat this in, being sure to blend this down to my neck. And wow, already it did a really good job of covering up that spot, and it actually matches my skin really nicely. So I'm just gonna blend this in. Okay, there we go. Overall, I just really like the feel of like a liquid foundation on my face. Now I'm really excited because I am trying out the amazing concealer, and I've heard so much about this. They reached out to me and I was like, yes, I would love to try it. So I'm gonna do that today. So I'm putting a little bit of this on my beauty blender, and I'm gonna pat this under my eyes and above my eyes. I'm also gonna put it on my blemish. And let's blend this and see. Wow, it already has amazing coverage, I'll tell you that. Wow, that has really, really nice coverage. It is really brightening, and I'm definitely going to give this more of a try. Now I'm going to try out the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores. I can't remember if someone says this has flashback. I'm pretty sure it does. But it's okay because I'm not taking any flash photography today. We are just simply going to place this under the eyes. And if you didn't know, any HD powder that would normally give you flashback is actually really good for videos, I hear. Okay, so dipping that in. Okay, having a malfunction, got this on my contact, can't see, gotta go take this out. Holy crap. Oh my god. Okay, so just take this, and I'm going to pack this under the eye, also on top. And I'm going to take a big It Cosmetics fluffy brush and kind of pack this into the rest of my face. Okay, so I could definitely tell that that powder is really, really brightening. I'm going to use some of the new e.l.f. brushes. I have the Full Precision brush collection, and I'm going to be taking the Naked Flushed palette, and it has a bronzer right here. Ooh, that's really, really pigmented. And a blush that I'll use later on, and I'm just going to use this to start bronzing up my face a bit. Bronze my nose. Bones. Wow, this brush really fits perfectly in the hollows of the cheeks right where you want to bronze, so I'm really liking this brush. And I'm going to take this powder to bake a little, and I want to brighten up the highlight points of my face a little bit. Oh my god, this powder. While I have that bake on, I'm just going to go back in with this bronzer. Just a little bit. And because of how light it is, I'm kind of worried of it like sticking to my face. So I'm brushing this off fairly quickly. I don't know if you could tell, but that powder under the cheekbone made it really like way too cut and not blended. So I'm just going to go back in with my brush and try to blend out my bronzer. Okay, we are going to go back into that later, but now I'm going to be using MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I've always wanted to try this, and I was so excited that I saw it on Glambot. I'm going to be taking this brush and dipping it in the paint pot and putting this all over my eyes. Now I have the Painterly paint pot and I see so many people using this one over the Painterly, so I decided to try this one out. Automatically I feel like this goes with my skin undertone a lot more. It's definitely more yellow, and the Painterly is a lot more pink, and I feel like this does a better job of canceling out those veins. So now I'm going to go in with my finger and work that in. I notice with paint pots the brush makes it very streaky. It's good to apply, but you always want to go back in with your fingers. This is very tacky and it's going to be a very nice base for the eyeshadow. So today I'm going to be using the Nude Tude palette by The Balm. I always wanted to try this palette out and I was so excited that I saw it on Glambot. I'm not quite sure what kind of look I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to try to go towards the pinkish shades because I did use a shade like this in my last tutorial, and I used a lot of bronzes in that tutorial, and there really aren't many mattes. So I know this look is going to be very neutral. I hope I like it. I don't know what I'm going to create. And there actually isn't like a skin tone color in here, so I'm just going to take more of that Bye Bye Pores and just set the paint pot because I don't want it to be streaky or anything like that, the eyeshadows. I unfortunately don't have any new brow products, so I'm just going to quickly go and fill in my brows. Okay, so starting off, I'm going to use this shade Sultry. It's like the only matte kind of transition color. So I'm going to use this all over my crease, and then we're going to go from there. This look is probably going to be very, very simple. So this shade is definitely just your typical transition shade. I'm actually going to go in with the Naked Flush palette and take this color and add a bit more warmth to the crease. Now I'm going to do the exact same to the other eye, just blending this in the crease and above the crease, just making sure it's a seamless transition shade. I'm actually going to take this with the other side of my brush and run this on my lower lash line. I want this shade to really tie in the whole final look. So I'm just going to keep on darkening the crease with this same shade. Just like the name of the shade, we're just going to create like that sultry eye. Okay, so now I want to try either Snobby or Standoffish on the lid. I think I'm going to go in with Snobby first because I'm not sure how it's going to look. It's kind of like a peachy goldeny shade. And let's see. So this is definitely like a bone shade, kind of like your eyelid, but better. I definitely now think I'm going to go in with Standoffish as my lid color. We're also going to place this on the brow bone. It's like a champagne-y pink blend, and I really want that Standoffish color to pop, so I'm actually going to go just get a spray to wet my brush. Okay, so let me try this out. This standoff shade doesn't work. I think I'm going to try the Mary Luminizer on my eyes. One thing I noticed, this palette has a ton of fallout, so just be careful with that. Okay, wow, look how much this shade pops when it's wet compared to this eye. This is why I love wetting shadows, and I'm putting that right in the inner corner to make that really pop. I'm putting a little bit of the wet color on the brow bone to make that pop even more, because I thought my brow bone was popping before, but no honey. So I'm going to keep packing that color on. I actually want to try something and see how that Snobby shade will look wet. Let's see, just a tiny bit. That's really pretty. It just gave it like a golden glow. So I'm going to keep adding that Snobby. And don't worry, when you work with lid colors, sometimes it'll go into your crease and look unblended, but we're going to go in at the end and really make sure everything is nice and blended. I'm going to go in with the sultry shade. Now I'm going to go back and blend the crease, make sure everything is blended. And also on the lower lash line, I'm going to use this Seductive color, and I'm going to first place that in the center and drag it out. Another thing I like to do is take the mirror back from afar and blend while it's back there, because sometimes you miss things when it's that close. You want to see what it will look like from afar, you feel? Now looking at this, I wish this palette had a bit more colors, but overall the shadows are pretty good quality. Real quick, I'm just going to test out lashes, one on each eye, and see which lashes I want to use. So these are Cocoa lashes. Sorry if I'm out of focus. I'm like trying to sit back so I could see them. And Adyel Wispies. Okay, so I think over the Adyel Wispies, the Cocoa lashes look a bit more voluminous and kind of glamorous. So I just have to trim these. I'm going to be using my Stila Stay All Day waterproof eyeliner, and I used this like 2 years ago and I haven't used it since. And I really wanted to retry it, so I was really excited. I don't really remember it being this long, but let's see. As always, I love how pigmented this is, and it's really precise. You could really create a thin line with this. Now, I would do a wing, but the only thing is, because of the limited colors, I feel like I've done a look similar to this with a wing, so I'm just gonna go without the wing for this look. I'm so excited for my lashes. Lashes always complete the look, I swear. Okay, so let's see how much I have to trim these. I like to start off small. I resize them to my eyes, and I'm just gonna go one more to be safe, and I think that's perfect. Now I like to size it to my other eye too, instead of doing both of them the same, because your eyes are not always going to be the same. So I did less on this eye, and I think that's perfect. So now I'm gonna load this up with lash glue, and while this dries in my finger, I'm going to go back to my bronzer and see if I could try and perfect this a bit more. Also really darkening up my tight line. That is another key for making your lashes look really blended and natural. Pop these babies on. And these have a really thick band, and for some reason I find thick bands much harder to apply. So you really want to be sure to hold it down, because it's so thick, it's most likely heavy, and you don't want the lash pop up during the day. So okay, that lash is done. Let's move on. These lashes are so fluttery and glamorous. Like I said, push and press and hold down. Sometimes you want to take an end of a brush to do this to help you. And there we go. Now that the false lashes are on, before doing anything else, sometimes you want to extend your shadow a little bit. You'll notice when your lashes are on sometimes that you want to extend a little bit more. And I am going to clean this up with the Bye Bye Pores powder. I'm just going to kind of bake with that Bye Bye Pores powder, just to carve out your eyeshadow and not have it go too low, if you know what I mean. Just going to touch up the lower lash line, and I'm going to take a random brush and dust that powder away. For mascara, I'm trying out a new one. This is the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. I've heard so much about this. We're just going to combine my real and false lashes. Also my lower lashes, and whoa, this is a really nice lower lash mascara, damn. Okay, I'm going to wait a tiny bit until all my makeup is done to figure out if I want to put black liner in my waterline, because I don't want my eyes to be like too dark. Okay, now I'm going to apply this blush. I'm going to go very tiny strokes and put that all over my cheeks. We just want a flush of color. I'm also going to take my bronzer, and I'm going to work that around and kind of use that as a blush as well. Okay, holy crap. Now I'm finally going to be trying out the Mary Luminizer. Oh my god. I can't. I've heard so much about this. Yes. That glow. Sweep this on. Ooh, girl. They weren't kidding when they said this highlight is popping. I got these new Algenist drops and like some Cover FX stuff. I was contemplating using them today, underneath, but I was like, no, I want to see the potential of the Mary Glow, you know? And it pops like damn. I go back in with this bronzer and blend. I feel like it makes for a good blush too, which I've actually never had that with a bronzer. I usually don't do that, but this is a full face of first impressions video. So, and now setting spray, and let's make this highlight like literally pop to the gods. Oh my god. I am shook. I am deceased. Get that smile, cause that highlight pop in. Pop that on the high points. And always be sure to kind of blend it. Guys, I can't even. New fave highlight, question mark? I'm gonna blend around with my fingers just a tad bit. I'm just gonna go in a final time just to make sure everything's blended and even. And this is like my favorite color highlight too. Like, it's just perfect, and it's just meant to be that it was on the site because I've been dying to try this. Now for lips, I'm going to pull out a color from the new Be Legendary lip line from Smashbox. And let's see what color. I'm gravitating towards these two nudes, but I'm also gravitating towards this purple because it would match my necklace. But I'm not really feeling it with the whole look. Let's take these two out real quick. This one's called Latte and Work It. So I think Work It is gonna be a more perfect match. Here's the sleek little package. Ooh girl, that just glided on, even though I have crusty foundation lips right now. So I don't really think this is what I was going for. Let's try Latte instead. I really want to do like a lip swatch video on these lipsticks. Girl, give it to me. Yes, I think this is going to be the color. Okay, I really like this color, but I want to go a tad bit darker. This color High. Alright, let's see, because I figured you kind of have to open it to see. Yes, I'm going to put this and mix it in. I'm like going crazy right now, but you know, when you're trying to find the perfect color, this kind of looks exactly what I have on right now. But let's see, this is M101 by Makeup Forever. They really have a sharp lipstick. This is like the sharpest lipstick I've ever tried. Okay, my only problem, you guys are probably like, Adyel, what are you doing? It looks fine. I kind of want it to be more browny. So let's see. This is called Dirty from the Smashbox, the Legendary Collection. Okay. Okay, I just applied Coffee Run, and I think that is perfect. I think it is a perfect combination to go with my eyes and my face makeup. Let's do one more final wash of color. Make sure everything's even. I still can't get over this Mary Glow. This is highlight heaven right here. Okay, take the headband down. I feel like this is when you really see the full glam. Yes! I really like this look. I'm really happy with it. One thing I think I'm gonna do though, I think I'm just gonna go for it, is put the black in my waterline. Okay, and there we go. So here is the final look. I'm in love with it. Please remember to check out Glambot. I love their stuff so much, and you have 72 hours from Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern to purchase some things on Glambot for 30% off. I hope you guys enjoyed this look, and please keep in mind there's definitely going to be a lot more looks. I definitely want to play around with more colors and different things like that, but for this eye look there was kind of limited options. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you haven't already. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!